the truth is, the outlook for me was not very good, right? The doctors had said, Carter will need someone to take care of him for the rest of his life. Has anybody ever met anybody where they see him in a close to vegetative state and they say, hey, would you imagine the outcome 2 years, 3 years, 10 years later would be where you got a guy running around in his pajamas at the Cardinal game getting kids and people inspired. So now we visit kids at hospitals, we visit kids at schools, visit kids at events, and I speak to a lot of organizations, and I find my message doesn't just permeate with kids. There's a lot of us adults out there who need a little bit of motivation, who need a little bit of insight, who need a little bit of a push to realize you're not stuck where you think you are. You're just as capable. And that's where my message really comes about. And so I took some notes. There's a couple key things I want to make sure I cover. But the one thing that made me a better than average baseball player was not because I had any special ability. Everything ultimately comes down to not who's the best, who's the strongest, who's the fastest, who's the smartest, who's got the best connections. How many people we say, oh, well, they're connected with everybody. Oh, their dad is so-and-so, right? Oh, they've got lots of money. That's not it. That's not what gets you there. I will beat the person who I'm competing with because I've tried 10 times while they haven't even got up to try once. You see, guys, it's a numbers game, just like anything in life. I'm willing to try and go out and fail 9 times to get that 10th time where I succeed before the other guy has even tried. If somebody is 3, 5, 7 times better than me, I already tried 10 times more than them, I win, right? That's all it comes down to. Who's willing to put in the extra effort? And people talk about, oh, all this extra effort I've got to put in, it's not worth it. No, but you see, I'm retired when I'm 52 years old. Well, they're working until they're 60, 70. Gotta love my dad. He's an incredible guy. Worked up until the day he had a stroke. He's got a PhD in academic finance, all but dissertation, right? And literally was so dedicated to his work and did a great job, but drove himself until he ended up having a stroke. And now he spends his time in a wheelchair. And it wasn't because he didn't put the effort in. It was because he didn't get to an industry or to a position where he could decide for himself where he wanted to make for his own career, his own path, right? To where you have that true sense of freedom. And that's what everybody needs. But everybody is capable of it. There's no one here that isn't capable of it. It's just, are you willing to put yourself in the position to where you can do that? Everyone has excuses, right? How many people come up with a different excuse every day? And the difference is the people who make more excuses, they just never get there. It's the people who don't make those excuses. They say, I was in a coma. You guys understand? I was in a coma. They gave me less than 50-50 odds to survive. Did I have a good excuse? I spent the first couple of years after my accident thinking about how I was just a victim. And I could have been a victim the entire rest of my life if I'd have let myself be that. And then I woke up one day and I realized, it may not be the same path that I'm going to go down that I was on. So I'm going to make it as a professional baseball player. That's a pretty exciting path to go down. But it's a different path now, and it's going to get me somewhere else different, and it's going to be better. And this is where I was supposed to be. It's horrible to go through what I went through, but it was a matter of, was I going to be the victim, or was I going to be somebody that goes out and makes a difference and decides to accomplish it, no matter what the doctors and the experts were telling me? If I didn't succeed the first time I tried something, that doesn't mean I failed. That means I actually learned how to do it better than the other guy, because now I know the things that can fail while the others are still trying to figure out what happened because they haven't even started yet, right? And then if I do end up failing with whatever, and it's not even a failure, it's strictly a redirection. Now I've been redirected into something else that I've got more ambition, more inspiration towards, more skills towards, that if I hadn't started on this path and realized that wasn't what my expertise was at, it was better over here, I would have never got there, except that I tried the initial project to put me there. So the worst thing you can do is to never try. I mean, and that's where a lot of us get stuck in life, and we feel sorry for ourselves, and we see the hurdles that we've got to overcome, and we don't realize that it's getting started that is the hardest, is the hardest thing to do. But once you've gotten started, you realize how quickly things come your way. By virtue of what I've gone through and what I've sustained and what I've overcome, Another joke is that of course, you heard me talk about I wear my pajamas to the game, but my other friends call this a Superman uniform. This is my super suit. And it's because I truly feel as though I have a super power. And that power is I know what it's like to be near death, to have doctors tell my parents that their son is not going to come out of this, and then if he does, you're going to have to take care of him for the rest of his life. I know what it's like to be pushed to the limits, right? To where they say the odds are not good for him to survive. And then not only to survive, because a lot of people come through these kinds of things and they survive and then they make it, right? But they don't ever really prosper because they're still caught up on what went wrong, what they overheard, and how unfair it was. And how many times have we had something happen to us that we felt was unfair? And how much time and energy did we spend wasted on it? So what I've proven with my superpower, if you will, is that I can not only overcome the hurdles that they took, but I can get to the pinnacle. I can get to the top where I now go visit organizations. I speak to groups. I talk to people about how to overcome. I visit kids at hospitals and try to inspire them. And by now, it's anything I set my mind to, I accomplish. It's a matter of fact. I go in, I analyze it. Whoever the expert is, I pick their brain, I study what they do, and now there's no excuse.
You know, life is all about what we do to make the world a better place. Don't let anyone tell you there's anything you can't do. It's entirely up to you. Get out there, go for it, and go do it. Thanks for watching the Cardinal Cowboy Show, and we'll see you soon. Giddy up!